Hi everyone, this is Jonas. I'm taking the opportunity to record a short video instead of translating this full document because it takes so long time to translate all the text from Swedish to English. So here's a short summary of my email to Mariam, where I would like each one of you to have a look at your particular part of data linkage. Okay, so this is a translation. Hi Mariam. Your priority one during week 34, just before the Harvard people arrives, is the following. I want you to create folders on the server for the overall project Espresso, and I know that on the server this project is called histoepidemiology. So please create these folders with access for me, yourself, and the relevant Harvard researcher. So start by creating 4 of these folders and 4 data sets before August 27th for people who have registered in the Human Resource Database at MEB. That is histoepidemiology, gallbladder amejoshi, histoepidemiology, cyst-ulcerated adenomas, Min Young, histoepidemiology, IBS from Kyle Stoller, histoepidemiology, antibiotics for Long. And then the next phase is to create 3 new folders: fatty liver, trace assignments, microscopic colitis, Hamid Khalili, eosinophilic esophagitis for John Garber. Those are the first 7 folders. Okay, then for each project we create an index group of people. To this case file, so to say, we link match controls, which have already been identified through statistics by Statistics Sweden. For all of these people, we then match first-degree relatives as well as spouses. The aim is to have 5 controls per case, but I know that for some people that was not possible because the population of Sweden was limited. Okay, this is the approach, having an index group, a case group, cases, and then link first-degree relatives as well as spouses. That's the main approach for all the projects, and we then start through biopsy data. The only exception is project number 3, IBS, where we have to create our own controls. Okay. Now that we've created the index group with cases, the controls, first-degree relatives, and spouses, we link everyone to data from the patient register, outpatient, inpatient, the cancer register, the cause of death register, medical birth registry, the prescribed drug register, education data, disposable income data, civil status, work data, what kind of work you have, country of birth, nationality, immigration data, and then the histopathology data, SNOMED code data, including date, place, topography code, morphology code, loop number, serial number that is, and the free text. Can you think of any other variable that we might need for these projects? So please add that as well. Okay, now I will describe the 7 projects. First we have the gallbladder project by Amit. Use topography code T57 and T58 and everything that begins with these codes, and then and then you take every individual independently of what morphology code they have. But then from this group of people, you restrict the data to those having either a surgery code or a medical diagnosis within 90 days before the biopsy or 90 days after the biopsy. And the surgery codes are the ones I've listed, beginning JKA, 5300, 5302, 5304, etc. And the medical diagnosis codes I've listed are 584 to 585, and then ICD-8 574, 575, ICD-9 574, 577, 75, ICD-10 K8 to K81. We also need free text for that project because we will search for specific kind of stones from the free text. The starting date of that cohort will always be the date of the first biopsy with T57. Project number 2, serrated adenoma, from Ming Young, start with topography codes T67, T68 at colorectal, and then restrict to the following M codes: M81, 82, 160, etc., M8216, M82 130, M82 13, all free text searches, the one we used for Soren's validation project. I believe you ran the free text search I've listed in the email. Also add patients from the Medilab Pathology Center who had T67, T68 combined with M72041 because they constitute cis-ulcerated adenomas. Please mark everyone with T67, T68, M72041 as specifically Medilab patients. And then you add all the controls from the Statistics Sweden, first degree relatives, spouses, and you add on top of that all the registry data I've just mentioned. Cause of death register, patient register, cancer register, etc. For the IBS, I suggest we use two approaches. First, we create one cohort consisting of anyone with T67, T68 plus any M code, and then add and then restrict to those patients who at some stage had either of two medical diagnoses: ICD-9, 564B, or ICD-10, K58. Okay, now you have the case group. To those, you match new control. You pick the controls that come from Statistics Sweden. Okay, so you pick the usual SCB controls. Also list the date for the first biopsy T67, T68, as well as the date of the first 564B and first K85, or K85, either of them. And then you, of course, for the cases and the controls, you add first degree relatives, you add spouses, and you add data from all the national health registers in Sweden. A second cohort, IBS cohort, will be a bit different. Now, restrict the data only to controls. Then among controls, identify anyone with a medical diagnosis 564B or K85. To each one of these, you match new controls based on age, sex, calendar period, and if possible, county. 5 controls for anyone with an IBS medical diagnosis among the controls. Okay, so this code is all restricted to the original control file. And then we add on top of that data from the usual registers. Project number 4, antibiotics. So here along we'll study antibiotics and risk of later inflammatory bowel disease. First, we create the following cohort group: T66, T67, T68. That's ileum, colon, rectum. Anyone having any of the following pathology codes for inflammation: M41, M42, M43, M44, M46, 300, M47, or any one of the following diagnostic codes: D6214, D6216, D6255, representing Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, and IBD unspecific. Okay, these patients we then match with a patient register, both outpatient care or an inpatient care, main diagnosis or secondary diagnosis, and then we create 3 codes. The first code is anyone with T66, 67, 68 plus an inflammatory code or a D code, and having any of the following ICD codes. They constitute ulcerative colitis. ICD-7 codes are listed: ICD-8, ICD-9, ICD-10. Then, from the same histopathology cohort, T66, 67, 68, and the inflammatory codes or the diagnostic codes, pick anyone who's had a medical diagnosis like ICD-7, 572,00, 572,09, and etc. for ICD-8, 9, and 10. They constitute Crohn's disease. And then we make exactly the same, but just restrict to those having an ICD-10 code K52.3. They constitute IBD-U, unspecific. Together, these three cohorts make up IBD. Okay. Now, for anyone who's in either of these three cohorts, pick the relevant SCB controls. The relevant SCB controls. Okay? Statistics Sweden. And then add first degree relatives, add spouses, and add data from all the usual national healthcare registers. Project 5, fatty liver. Okay, pick anyone, identify anyone with topography T56 plus M5008 or M552. Okay, this is the case group. Add the usual controls from Statistics Sweden, add on top of that first degree relatives as well as spouses, and then link to the usual registers, the usual national healthcare registers, as well as histopathology data, SNOMED data. For all the projects, I want you to add in SNOMED data. Project 6, T67 plus T68, or T68 plus either M4717 or M4600. Please make a note which individual is M47, which one is M4600. And then add the matched controls from Statistics Sweden, first degree relatives, spouses, and add, in addition to that, data from the usual national healthcare registers plus SNOMED data. Project 7, eosinophilic esophagitis. Anyone with a topography code T62 plus M4715 or M4750, more or less the same. Plus, add the usual matched controls from Statistics Sweden, SAB, add first degree relatives, add spouses, and the link to data from the usual national healthcare registers, as well as histopathology data from our SNOMED espresso database. Okay, thank you. That's all for now. Thank you.